So okay, but you were doing street with Mac Dre, or was it mostly just rap?
So Dre was on his rap. Me and my crew, we was in the streets.
Right.
We was doing Dre. You know, Dre did street too. Dre, but Dre wasn't doing everything that they said Dre was doing. As far as you know, we got into robbing young. You know, as teenagers, we started robbing. We was started knocking off pizza parlors, hotels, all the shit. Then we moved over to banks. You feel me? So by the time we started hitting banks, you know, got out of control, and then Dre was really at a buzz at the same time. So we was doing our thing, you feel me, as far as in the streets with these banks and shit, and he was working his music game. So when Dre was, this was 91 at the time. In 91, Jive Records was in the Bay Area. They had Too Short, they had just signed E40, they had signed Spice One, and they was trying to get Dre at the time. So when all that was going on, but we was hitting licks, and Unsolved Mysteries came in. It was to the point where it was so fucked up. We was tearing shit up so bad. Unsolved Mysteries came in and ran an episode of us in the Bay Area with the bank robbers.
Was that exciting or was it upsetting?
I mean, of course,
a little bit of both.
If you doing the shit, yeah, it's upset. It was at the same time. It was like crazy that they was coming covering our story. Like literally came to Vallejo and filmed. You know what I mean? At spots in Vallejo, the whole series and all the shit.
But were you like, oh fuck, we gotta stop doing this? It's on TV.
No, because we really, and it's a crazy story. So
some niggas be in too deep, Adam. By the time that happens, so it's like,
nah, but he did a quick succession from like Round Table Pizza to the bank robberies, from what I understand. That it accelerated very quickly, and it's hard to go back to $400 out the cash register when you just hit for 40 grand or whatever, right?
And then you know, it's like anything else. If they doing Unsolved Mysteries, then they don't really know much, you know. And that's how we was feeling at the time. We was like, it was crazy because when the night that the Unsolved Mysteries shit aired, I had actually walked in my mom's house. I walked in and my family was watching the shit. My mom, my dad, I think my sister and this and there. And they like, this episode, they talking about the dudes doing the bank robberies, because the bank robberies was that's all you seen on the news every other night. So they was running the shit. So when I come in, I'm watching it, and they had an actual live clip of me. They had an actual live clip of me running up at the time. It was they was showing a Round Table Pizza place that got robbed, and that was in Hercules, California. So they had showed a live clip. I had a jumpsuit and a mask on, of course. But me, I'm seeing myself. I'm like, oh shit. I'm looking at my palms sweating, my mama and them watching. I'm like, and to me, I'm feeling like, ooh, is my mama seeing this shit? Do she see what's going on? And I was shook up, but they never said nothing. You know, they never was suspicious, never felt like it was me at the time. So, you know, after that shit was over, we got together, we talked about it, me and the Cuddies, and like, well, shit, who y'all thought that was? Who you seen that? You seen that picture they showed, all the shit? And, you know, who they did the reenactment on? And we like, shit.
Let's be honest. Like, he was talking about, like, from pizza joints to bank robberies. I mean, 400 only gonna go so far between us niggas is getting grown now. You know
I ain't gonna call it 400, but yeah.
How much do you hit the bank robbery like thing? Like, how much is the most you ever got out of one?
we did $1 and some change was probably the most that me and somebody else did. Damn. And that was you know, that was exceptional.
Especially
but it was
back then. That's pretty good, yeah.
And it was split, and it didn't come like that. It didn't come like that regular. You had some
just drawers though. Right?
Yeah. This was drawers and boxes. So you and depending on, you know, hitting the corners, you know, that was one of our countermen over there. He don't want to get on camera, but Kilo was one of our countermen. He's one of the best to do it. Dude hit the counter and be behind some shit, pulling out boxes and all the shit. And one of the key things is you really could have got more money out of the banks, but if you understood bank robbery and when that's what we was doing, we after doing it, you started knowing about the trackers and the die packs.
That's what I was gonna say. Did they have that shit back then?
Hell yeah, they had that shit back then. Hell yeah, they had that shit back then, and we had a couple experiences with it. That's how we learned about it.
Really?
So once you learn about that, then you know that you can't just go in there and just grab everything. You feel me? You got to be more careful when you're doing shit, grabbing, squeezing. You can shake it to fall right out. They just slip it right between the little money. They have little money that they give motherfuckers, or you know, and that was the thing with us. That's why we jumped the counters. You know what I mean? If you let them just give you, they gonna give you whatever the hell they want to give you. But if you go over there and get your shit, then you can pretty much, And you can't just grab like that. You had to grab, squeeze, and you could feel the dye packs. You could feel all that shit in there.
I got a question. Do you still, if you're scrolling through YouTube and you see a documentary about some crazy-ass bank robbery shit, do you still have to click it and watch?
Hell yeah, I gotta see. I gotta see who did what, how far they got.
Because you're never going to fall out of love with the game, right?
Hell yeah, like you gotta see that, man. Like,
me catch out the corner of your eye real quick. Like, yeah, I seen it. This is some bullshit.
I mean, I hope Michael Jordan's still concerned with up-and-coming basketball players. I don't know if he is, but he should be, right?
Yeah,
I would like to think he's still got a love for the game.
Shit.
Yeah, I just wanted to see, and especially today's time, like with the technology. See,
that's what I'd be interested if I were you.
California put plexiglass in banks. We the reason why that plexiglass is in banks. You can't go over counters no more because of us. You can't, there's no interaction. That's why all that shit was there, because we was jumping the counters, and that was at a time. And see, if you understood that, then you knew too that they couldn't push the button, where they wasn't supposed to push the button until the robbers was out the bank. So, because if they pushed it too early and the police get there, you're going to cause a hostage situation.
Right.
So, knowing all this made it easier if you knew that, hey, if we get in here and we do this shit right, they can't even alert the police until we out the bank. You understand?
Right.
So, with all that understanding, we executed and we killed the game for a minute. Like, we really killed the game, and then it just...
What happened? It just started getting harder?
Domino fell, slip-ups. One of the first was a robbery out in Richmond with some of my crew. They had a bank robbery, high-speed chase. They came out the bank, and the police was outside. That was one of the first ones, and they had a high-speed chase. Another one was a whole nother high-speed chase too, across the bridge, shootout with the police.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it was all kind of little shit that just everything started leading to Vallejo then.
So you were ready to have a shootout with the cops before you just handed the money over and went to jail?
At that
Hey, I gotta ask. For me, I'm picturing as soon as the cops are on me, it's like, all right, I give up. I need everybody to check out NoJumper.com. We officially started a blog. It has in-depth articles about current events, music, etc., plus all of our content in terms of podcasts, interviews, etc. And you can get some exclusive new merch if you check out NoJumper.com. So make sure you tap in.